Yo, this is Certified Master Herbalist Derek Seelman, and I'm also a gardener. These classes of the DL Naturals 4 class course has been amazing. I've been speaking on growing your fruits and vegetables. Class number 1, we spoke about the soil and containers. Class number 2 was talking about from seed to harvest, and that's where it was talking about, like, when you start with your seed, you get to the harvest part, but then there's always a lot of challenges in the way. And so the third class was speaking about hydroponic gardens, and last but not least, I'm gonna say that again, last but not least, we are talking about growing mushrooms. A lot of the mushrooms that I've grown, I've eaten. I was able to make all kinds of meals with the mushrooms, because getting the mushrooms from the store nowadays can cost a arm, leg, breast, and a thigh. So yeah, it is a lot. So now we're going to talk about growing your own mushrooms. And I'm going to give this quick introduction. Cultivating mushrooms at home or a small scale is incredibly rewarding. I mean, like, rewarding for everyone, because you also get to learn a new skill, but also save some money. Bridging the gap between science and agriculture. Unlike traditional plants that grow from seed and rely on photosynthesis, which is from the sun to grow, mushrooms grow from spores and mycelium, the root-like underground network of the fungus, and thrive by breaking down organic matter, which would be like your coca coir, your different scraps, and it just breaks it down and the mushrooms grow. To successfully grow mushrooms, the process is 3 simple stages, and these are the core stages, which is inoculation, incubation, and also fruiting. With inoculations, introducing a mushroom culture or spawn to a nutrient-rich material called a substrate, such as sawdust, straw, or these grain blocks. Incubation, keeping the substrate warm in a dark place, humid environment, while the hidden mycelium aggressively spreads and colonizes the entire block. And then that's an example of when this block right here becomes all the way white. The fruiting, and the fruiting is when that's pretty much the mushroom. It's the environment by introducing a fresh air, light, and drop in temperature to trigger the mycelium to produce the actual mushrooms we harvest and we eat. So how did I get into mushroom, and why did I get into mushroom growth? Me, when I first started to do more plant-based and more cooking, I've always wanted to experiment with growing mushrooms. And when I started to do that, I started to go to Sprouts, Whole Foods, going to, Sprouts, Whole Foods, and all of these different places. I started going to the farmer's market in order to get these particular mushrooms. But like the blue oyster mushrooms, they are $19.99 a pound. That is a lot. And so when I started counting up the cost, I'm trying to get all of these mushrooms to to make these meals. And the only thing about mushrooms, certain mushrooms shrink when it gets to that heat. So I'm growing all these mushrooms. I mean, not growing, but I'm buying all these mushrooms, and next thing you know, spending a fortune. So just like when I started the garden, I decided to grow the mushrooms. The mushrooms were a little bit challenging to me because of the simple fact that I have to, go through these different steps. So when I first started growing mushrooms, I went online to North Spore, and I got one of these fruiting blocks. These fruiting blocks are already, if I can take it out of here, they're already ready to go. They've been fully colonized and everything, and all you have to do is mark a X on it with like lion's mane, kind of maybe do it at the top, and then it will grow. I always started just spraying it, but then I started noticing that the mushrooms wasn't growing that much, and so I just placed this on my countertop. They say it's good, but I noticed they accelerate more when they're in a humid environment. And so I went from that to actually taking a tub. So if you want to make your own model type of tub, all you can do is go to the dollar store. You can go to any type of place. You can drill some holes in the incubator just like this, and you can kind of put a trash liner at the bottom, all black. You can add it with some peat moss, and you can grow your mushrooms that way. All you have to do is just open it up and close it. Now that's a little bit more on the beginner level. And so once I went from that, I decided, okay, maybe I want to elevate a little bit higher. Okay, well, how do I elevate a little bit higher? I went on to Northspore, and then I ended up purchasing, they call this the the boom room. Now this right here, this whole set comes with a humidifier and a fresh air exchange. So this is like the small one. So if you want to just grow mushrooms like on a smaller level, that's what you would use. For me, I like to elevate. And so when it came to elevating, I decided, you know what? I'm going to actually start growing mushrooms on a larger scale. Not the largest, but just a larger scale. Let me show y'all. So this right here is my mushroom incubator. This mushroom incubator is called a Martha tent. And see, it has the big airflow exchange at the bottom, the huge humidifier, and then I also put a light in here so it can get fresh, the lights, for growth. And I also have a temperature gauge right here where it shows the temperature. And once it reaches a certain humidity and temperature, that's when the humidifier turns on. It looks like my live is a little slow. And then I'm able to, instead of just having like the smaller mushrooms, guess what? I can grow big mushrooms. This is a 10-pound block. And from this 10-pound block, I was able to get at least about maybe 10 or 15 pounds of mushrooms. Actually more than that. And so there are different levels to growing the mushrooms. Now with mushrooms, you have different ones. A lot of times we see like the regular mushrooms, like the blue oyster mushrooms. You see the lion's mane mushrooms. You see the ones that you like to cook with. You see all of those mushrooms. But you also I have to explain and show the medical mushrooms. And for those who are on the call, I am about to share my screen. Here we go. We're gonna show. Here we go. So we have the gourmet mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms, the oyster mushrooms, lion's mane, enoki, and king oyster mushrooms. Each one of these I have grown in some type of capacity. These mushrooms are very good to eat, like the shiitake mushrooms. You can take those. You can make some, an Asian dish out of it. Also, when it comes to the blue oyster mushrooms, you can literally fry up the mushroom and make it taste just like chicken. I know a lot of people be saying that ain't no chicken, that's a mushroom. Once you fry up a good blue oyster mushroom, it will taste just like chicken. You be like, I'm not even missing chicken right now. That's one of my favorites. Maitake mushrooms, that's another thick type of mushroom that you can use as like a replacement. I've used it a couple of times in making mushroom pho. Lion's mane is one of my favorites. I love the texture of that. I haven't tried the steak one yet, but I've used it in frying up a mushroom, and it has more of a meaty type of texture when it comes to the lion's mane mushroom. Enoki mushroom, those mushrooms right there, they're like the long stringy mushrooms. You can take those and make some type of chicken sandwich out of it. And also the king oyster mushroom. The king oyster mushroom has like a big base on it, so you can take that mushroom, slice it. You can make vegan bacon out of it. You can score it, and you can make like some vegan steak out of those. So those gourmet mushrooms are very great in the kitchen. And guess what? You don't have to pay $19.99 a pound. You can go in there, get you a kit, get started, and grow them yourself. Now it's time to talk about the medical mushrooms. Lion's mane is also included as well. Lion's mane is one of my favorite mushrooms. When I started to research about the lion's mane mushroom, I saw that this particular mushrooms help out with the brain and cognitive health. And so even with that, you can do so much with it besides just cook. You can create a lion's mane mushroom tincture just like this. All this is the lion's mane mushroom and some 80 proof to 130 proof. This one's Everclear, and you can just grind it up. And then guess what? If you're having problems with your memory, if you're having problems with brain fog, if you're having all those brain issues, guess what? Lion's mane mushrooms is where to go. You can also make it in your home. All you got to do is add this, let it sit for about, close to 30 days, grind it up, and there you go. A tincture for the brain, and it's all natural. The reishi mushroom. The reishi mushroom is one of those mushrooms that will help calm your nerves. If you're having a lot of anxiety, if you're feeling depressed, you're feeling stressed, the reishi mushroom is one of those mushrooms that help. And since I've been getting into this mushroom craze, I've also been studying on mycology, which is the growth of mushrooms. The cordyceps mushroom, that's for the energy and performance. I know it's a little hot in here because I'm in the garage while doing this live and teaching the class. And so the cordyceps mushroom, for a lot of people are saying, man, I need some energy, I need performance, I need to go. Guess what? That mushroom is great for you. You see that mushroom a lot in the mushroom coffee. And so I've actually gotten some of that particular mushroom, put it in a cup. I mean, if I'm feeling down, stir it up, drink it, and on the go. Turkey tail. Turkey tail is a real good mushroom that helps out with immune support. So if a person is dealing with the immune system being low, right now with all of the ragweed and all of the rain and all of the different stuff that's going on in Texas, guess what? The turkey tail mushroom is one of my go-tos. You can also take all of those mushrooms and make it into a tincture. And the chaga mushroom, That is another antioxidant support. This right here is very powerful. Like if you mix turkey tail and that mushroom together, guess what? You have a great antioxidant. Like if you're feeling sick, all you got to do is either eat them, make them with something, or create some type of tincture. The maitake mushroom, which I've already spoken about, this helps out with your metabolic health. This mushroom right here is great for that performance. So the cordyceps and the maitake mushroom, you mix those together, oh yeah, it's gonna be on the pop, and you're gonna be running for the hills and have all kinds of energy. Now, let me share my screen. Let me show the different ways of growing mushrooms. I shouldn't have. Come on, there we go. We talked about the inoculation, the incubation, and also the fruiting. There are different ways to grow your mushrooms. And for everybody that's on the class, all you got to do is send me your email, and I can send you all of these notes on how to grow your mushrooms. Number one is the fruiting block. And then this is one of the ones that you can either get from North Spore. You can go on Amazon and find like a mushroom company that has like these they call it like the grow kits. You can take this grow kit. All you got to do is spray it, put it on the countertop, or create your own homemade incubator, or get a monotub, and then you can start your mushrooms just like this. That is one of the easier ways of doing it. A lot of times, they think it's real difficult to grow. It's not difficult. All it takes is time and patience. And so this is more on the beginning level right here. Now, the natural log. The natural log is where you take, matter of fact, I forgot to grab a log. I don't have it in here, but I have the box of the log. This right here, if you want to grow chicken of the wood mushrooms, you take the pellets that's on the inside, you have a drill bit, and then you hammer them in there. Now, this right here does take a year to grow, but you will get those chicken of the wood or hen of the wood, aka maitake mushrooms. So this is like one of the original ways. Like if you've been into like rainforests and stuff like that, and you've seen mushrooms growing out of trees, if you want to do that, these are one of the ways to do it. I currently have some chicken of the woods that's growing in the backyard. It's been almost a year and ain't nothing yet. But that's where that's why I say you have to take time and patience. Say that again. Time and patience when it comes to growing anything. Number 3, this is called pasteurizing an agricultural straw. This is pretty much where you take a bucket. Here you go. This is where you grow mushrooms out of a bucket. And so for this one, this is my first time doing this. I've taken the mushroom spawn, which is this, and I broke it up into the straw. And I mixed it all together and I stuffed it in a bucket. But then there's a couple of ways to do it so you won't have any contamination. You take the straw, you can either put it in like one of those big pressure cookers, or in real tall spaghetti pots, or for the people that do fish fries and cookouts, if you got one of them large pots, you can take that spawn, that straw, and then you can break it up and then just let it sit in there until it start reaching 180 degrees. And once it does that, all of the germs and everything is out of that straw. You can mix it in with your mushroom spawn that's already cultivated and everything. Mix it in. Now this process does take about a month. So again, time and patience. So it takes about a month. Like you can't really see it that well, but they are just now starting to turn white. Once all of the holes in this whole bucket turns white, that's when the mushrooms will be ready to start growing. Then that's when you transfer it outside. You make sure that you spray it, that it's getting enough humidity, or you can throw it inside your Martha tent, which you can get it on Amazon and things of that sort. So this is another way of using pasteurized agriculture straw. Moving on to 4, monotubs. I already spoke about the monotubs. This one right here, you can either create your own monotub, or you can, purchase one from any online type of store. Just make sure that it has a good quality, that the bottom is black, and I've used peat moss and stuff like that to kind of hold in some of that moisture so it won't just be too dry. And with these different like monotubs, you also want to create a fresh air exchange, which is this little fan right here, to get rid of a lot of that CO2. Because if the one thing that I've learned from experience, let's say that again, from experience, that if the mushrooms do not get enough air, they will not grow properly. They will be thin as a pencil. And you're wondering why is my mushroom so thin? Because it did not get enough airflow. So even though mushrooms grow underground, they grow in trees, they still need some type of airflow. And then once you can do that, you also want to have a humidifier. So this is a small humidifier. So if you're not able to purchase like a boom room or something like that from Northsport, you can take a container, cut it up, and then add you a humidifier to that, so everything can start to grow. Now we going on to the big dogs, the automatic. It's a hydroponic garden tents, which is this right here. These are the Martha tent, and you can get a big yield of mushrooms when it comes to using one of these. So anybody have any questions on growing the mushrooms?
About how much does a kit cost typically?
The kits from like Northsport, these right here are usually like $19 to $29. Now these are your good starters. And also, like, you can get the block by itself, and then you can do it that way. But they're typically $19 to $29.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Now it's time for a demonstration. Now, when I was mentioning about growing mushrooms, if you want to go to more of a next level and grow them from scratch, this is where you can either get a syringe with the liquid cultures in here, and you can also get you one of these bags. So if you're a person that's like, okay, I don't want to, spend money on this. I want to just get all of the material and I want to grow them on my own. Now with that, you can get a lot more. You can continue growing mushrooms that way. So this right here has grain, coca coir, and also has like some sawdust in here. So for demonstration purposes, it's time to get into Dr. Seelman. So when using these, when you're going to inject into the spores, everything has to be sanitized. So I have my alcohol. I'm just going to spray it like this. Make sure that everything is good. It's already sanitized, but for demonstration purposes only, I'm going to spray it again. Then we put on some gloves because mushrooms are still a fungi. And we want to make sure that there is no contamination whatsoever. And so we're going to put on the gloves. Also, spray the gloves down. Make sure everything is good and sanitized. Now, we're going to inject the liquid cultures. Now, doing these from scratch, it will pretty much be like a science project. So if a person is really want to get into mushrooms, they can get one of these from like a mushroom store or mushroom farm, or you can order it online. So after you've done that, everything is good. You take the bag right here, then here's the injection port. You inject it right here, and then you slowly release the cultures. Kind of go up the bag, because we want all of this to mix in. Go slowly. When growing anything, it's like a marathon. It's just like in life. We want stuff to be done real fast, quick, in a hurry, but it's always going to take time. Just like I'm going to say it again, time and patience. And once that is done, it's almost there. The syringe was a little stiff. So you take this and you put it inside of either your Martha tent or your monotub. And then once you put it in any one of those, again, you have to wait about 30 days until the bag starts to look white like this. And once it starts to look white like this, and you start to see some pinning and all that, all you have to do is just make a slit or cut an X in the area that you want the mushrooms to grow. You take down the rest of the area, and there you go. In a couple of weeks, you will have some mushrooms. So let me go ahead and put this inside the container in the mushroom Martha tent. So we're gonna give that time for it to do its thing. Anybody have any other questions?
Out of all the different types of mushrooms, I think you mentioned that one is your favorite, but I don't know if I heard it correctly. Was it the The lion's mane mushroom, that was your favorite?
Yes, lion's mane has started to become one of my favorites. I should have said one of my favorites. But lion's mane has so many benefits. I mean, I love the texture on it. If you're a person that says that, hey, I want to just have a chicken replacement, like for me, my blood type cannot have chicken. So in order for me to enjoy something like that, guess what? Lion's mane is where to go. Now I haven't tried it on the steak just yet. I tried, and I mean, I have tried. Let me say that again. I've tried, and it was an epic fail. But I'm gonna try again because guess what? Oh, just like life, you cannot give up. So lion's mane so far is my favorite mushroom because of its benefits. Later on, I'm gonna take these mushrooms, grind them up, make a tincture that's gonna be good for my brain health. Anybody have any other questions? And for people that's wanting all of the information for the DL Naturals garden course, and they want all of the different slides, all of the different pictures from when I talked about the growing the soil in the containers all the way into the mushrooms, all you have to do is drop your email down in the chat, and I will send you the Google Drive, and you'll be able to access all of the notes and all of the slides. And then if you're running into some trouble, just inbox me. I would love to talk. I would love to help you out with your garden, or even help you with growing your mushrooms. So we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for the DL Naturals growing course. I've been doing it since the beginning of May. It's been fun. I'm thankful that everybody tuned in, they participated, and that everybody was able to grab some knowledge, because I love to teach, I love to grow, I love to be challenged. So guess what? Let's grow together. Y'all have a blessed night, and God bless.